It is Thursday, March 18th, 2021. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for 5. We take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel because Jesus is the gospel. So here we are. We're going over verses 6, 7, 8 of chapter 2. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He's a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice and watching over the way of his saints. And the way of his saints is the way of true justice. Said this before, and you'll find this if you really examine these things. Within critical race theory and critical theory and identity politics, which really flows out of critical race theory, there's no true reconciliation. There is no true forgiveness. So in that sense, there is no true justice. Now, some people would say, well, some groups shouldn't be forgiven. But again, based on what? What do you base this worldview on? You've got to point to something deeper than humanity. If your worldview begins and ends with humanity, then there's no authority. I've shared this before. Back when I was in college, I didn't believe there was a such thing as morality because I didn't believe any human being could tell me what I should or should not do or what I should or should not believe. Human beings just did not have that authority, and they really don't. Even a group of human beings, even if you could grab a group together, you couldn't force me to believe something or to behave a certain way. Unless what? Well, unless you're going to physically enforce that on me, and that's a coercion and manipulation again. But if I wanted to hold strong as a human being, you truly didn't have the authority to make me from the heart believe something. Human beings do not have the authority to create morality. So in that sense, I believe my worldview at that time was consistent at least. Now, I was not a Christian yet, so I had not encountered Jesus Christ and had not encountered this idea that the only laws in this world that apply to everyone, the only moral laws that apply to everyone come from the lawgiver, God himself. If a law does not come from God, then it is not a moral law that we have to pay any attention to whatsoever. So the point of this then is the saints of God are the ones walking in true justice. We find true justice, true reconciliation between the races. We find true justice. There's actually forgiveness and redemption for the prisoners. We give people true justice and true hope because that's who Jesus Christ is, the way, the truth, and the life. So the good news is God watches over the way of his saints. He watches over our lives. He walks with us, he guides us, he directs us, and he does so as a tender, loving parent. Then you will understand righteousness and justice. When will you understand righteousness and justice? When you search after wisdom. Well, the context here is if you treasure the commands of God, that'll make you attentive to wisdom. That'll make you wise. And that wisdom will give you understanding concerning our world. And then if you call out for insight, if you search for wisdom as you're searching for hidden treasure, then you'll understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God, because it's the Lord who gives wisdom. In finding God, you will find wisdom, for from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. We have it from his very mouth. He's stored up wisdom for us. He's stored up sound wisdom for the upright, those he's made right with him through Jesus Christ. And he's a shield to those who walk in integrity. The wisdom of God protects the saints of God, guarding the paths of justice and watching over the way of his saints. Then when you are in that place, when you have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ, then you have true wisdom to build upon. You have true wisdom to seek. Then you will understand righteousness and justice. This might not be controversial for many of you, but this is a controversial statement. You cannot know true wisdom and justice without knowing Jesus Christ. So most of the wisdom and justice spewed about in this world, unless it falls in line with biblical definitions of justice, it is more than likely a perversion of justice. Now, what has God said to you today? What are you going to do about it?